What's up? Welcome to Little Bowspring class. I'm making this specifically for a beautiful student of mine named Sarah, who is expecting a baby. So she might need a little bit of a more mellow offering because mine tend to be a little fiery. So I think coming into later term, she needs something a little softer and more appropriate. So Rachel's going to help me demo this while I teach, because that's just how it's easiest. This is Rachel, one of my best friends, and she loves Bowspring too. So we're just going to start seated, and then take your hands to your bum, lift your cheeks out from underneath of you to accentuate lower lumbar moving in. Little domes meet the top of the thighs, yes. And then using this point of contact to lift the heart, lift the chin, and allow the eyes to shut just for a second. Find a couple of big belly breathing, big belly breaths, I should say. Breathing into the space right below your belly button. Finding full, expansive, and fluid inhales into exhales like waves. It's a time to connect for a moment to that vital breathing force that keeps us beating. And take one more big full inhale, fill the belly, and deep exhale. And then reach 2 seats forward, allow the eyes to open, lift the chin, and take an inhale to inflate the back ribs, all sides opening, front, underneath the armpits and the back. And then find a seaweed sway side to side. As you arch over to one side, drop ear to shoulder, pick up the opposite ribs. Keep a long open belly, lifted chin. Top of the foot can gently begin to activate that dig down, drag back for a low hollow in the ankle, heroed ankle. Hips back, open belly, ear to shoulder, rise the ribs. And then finding your center, arms push forward. Big inhale inflates the whole rib cage. Exhale, hands back to the back of the head, ecstasy. Thumbs find the occipital low, both hands on either side of the skull, and elbows hugging forward nice and strong. Find a gentle press of the head back into the hand, and then find a rise through the center. Keeping the hips tacked back, hollows in the groins, forearms rise up towards the sky. Gentle little pulses to extend the midline. And then find a rise through the center, big arch over to the right. Find a couple of gentle pulses into the sideline. Think about picking up the place right underneath your left armpit. Hips tack back, belly bows forward, head presses back into the hand. Release the right hand, catch outside edge of left thigh. Catching a bind allows you to get deeper into your left side. Hips back, open belly, breathing deep. One more full pulse in. And then both hands back to ecstasy. Find a rise through the center, head presses back into the hands, lift up, belly stretch. Awesome. And then find your arch over to the left. Hips tack back, little pulses in and out, gently opening up the whole right side. Think about picking up that place right underneath the right armpit. Head presses back into the hands, hips tack back. Release your left hand, catch outside edge of right thigh. Catching the spine allows you to get deeper into the right side, hips back, open belly. Gentle press of the head back into the hand, peel it open, arch it over. Awesome. And then release back to center. Take the block and place it to the side. And then sit the hips back, reach the arms forward, and hands down to the mat, all fours, please. Okay, walk the knees back so the knees are underneath of the hips. Just all fours. Just all fours. Yeah. Hands as wide as the mat, knees underneath of the hips, untuck the toes if they're tucked, and press the top of the foot down into the mat to gently drag the hips back. Yeah. Externally rotate elbows, strong push of the mat away, inflate the back ribs. Hips pull back a little bit to lengthen the belly. Awesome. Shift the weight to the left side, pick up the right knee. Dome right fingertips. Knee stays narrow, little fiesta of that foot. Hips sit back towards the left heel, open belly to the right. Find a strong push of the left hand into the mat, fill more into the back heart, keeping a soft belly. So light on the right fingertips, lift the chin out of the throat. One more full inhale. Exhale, lower down. Shift the weight to the right, pick up the left knee, dome left fingertips. Knee stays narrow in the side plane, not so high. Heroed ankle and a fiesta'd foot. Hips sit back towards the right heel, soft belly to the left, chin lifts out of the throat. One more full inhale. Exhale, lower down. Okay, shift the weight back over to the left side, pick up the right knee, dome right fingertips. Knee stays narrow, hips sit back, soft belly to the right. Finding a fullness and a lift underneath that left armpit. Yeah, let's take the right hand to the front of right knee. Hand melts liquid, arm goes straight. Press the knee into the hand, sends the hips back, opens up the belly. One more, full inhale. Exhale, lower down. Shift weight to the right, pick up the left knee. Dome left fingertips. Knee stays narrow, hips sit back. Open the belly, lift the chin. Left hand moves to the front of left knee. Hand melts liquid, arm goes straight. Press the knee into the hand, which moves the hips back, opens and tones the belly. Lift the chin. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down. Cool. Find a couple of barrel rolls with the rib cage, big circular motions. Finding a fluid, just a fluid spiraling action with the whole rib cage. And then switch your roll, go the other direction. Okay, and then find some stillness. Top of the feet push down and use them drag back to pull the hips more back. Find more hollows in the groins and a lengthened belly. Hands little grippiness. Externally rotate those elbows, push the mat away, inflate back ribs. Shift the weight to the left side, pick up the right knee, dome right fingertips. Knee stays narrow, hips move back towards the left heel, soft belly bows to the right. Awesome. Right hand moves to the front of right knee. Hand melts liquid, arm goes straight. Press the knee into the hand, sends hips back, opens up the belly. Cool. Right foot's gonna step behind the left. a little baby kitty. Yep. And then ecstasy the right hand. Left ear to left shoulder, rise through the ribs. Elbow hugs into the cheek, find a little pulse. Hips sit back towards the right heel. Belly stays open, ear to shoulder, lift the ribs. A couple more pulses, sit back. Belly stays open, rise ribs, ear to shoulder, head presses back into the hand. One more. Come back through center, right hand touches the mat, dome sides back to right. Right foot or right knee lands back down, all fours. Hips sit back, soft belly bows, strong push of the mat away, elbow armpits face inwards towards each other. Shift the weight to the left side, pick up the right knee. Shift the weight to the right side, pick up the left knee, dome left fingertips. Knee stays narrow, hips sit back, take left hand, move to the front of the knee, find your alignment, little press of the knee into the hand, moves the hips back, tones and opens the belly. Chin stays lifted. One more full inhale. Moving from here, left foot steps behind the right to the toes, hips sit back towards the heel, ecstasy left hand, right ear to right shoulder, rise through the ribs. little baby kitty or back baby kitty, some kind of little kitty thing. Belly bows to the left, hips sit back, find your pulse. Head presses back into the hand, elbow reaches far and long. One more little pulse. Awesome. And then come back through center. Find a fullness in the back. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, crouching cat. Hands as wide as the mat, feet as wide as the mat. Paws rooted, pushing down and out to the side. Heels pull back to lift the glutes up towards the sky. Extend the whole posterior chain. Knees hug external in line with the ankles. Heart is forward like a plank. Elbows externally rotate forward and a strong push of the mat away. Find a gentle spring. Sit the hips back towards the heels and then reach the ribs forward. Top of the crown of the head reaches forward. Little gentle opening of the midline. Can we keep the hips pulling back and the ribs pulling forward? Awesome. And then externally rotate your left hand, twist your cat to the right. Toes to the right, knees to the right, hips sit back towards the heel. Ear cascades to shoulder, rise through the ribs. Nice and slow pulses, hips pull back, belly bows right. Left ear to left shoulder, rise through the ribs. Dome right fingertips. Finding a spiraling action with the ribs to open the heart more to the right. Lift the chin out of the throat, root down the toes, hips back, open belly. Take one more pulse. Awesome. Come back through center. Heart forward, strong push of the mat away, elbows externally rotated, paws rooted, pushing down and out to the side, heels dragging back to rise the glutes up towards the sky. Externally rotate, right hand, twist cat left, hips sit back towards the heel, right ear to right shoulder, rise through the ribs, dome left fingertips. Finding a gentle, soft pulse, hips pull back, belly bows left, ear to shoulder, rise the ribs. That place right underneath your left armpit. Couple more little springs here. Awesome. And then last one. Come back through center. Step forward, wide stance. Yeah. Deep squat, hips move way back, rise up with an open belly forward. Cool. Externally rotate the feet just a tiny little bit. Cool. And then bend into the knees, knees forward, hips back, reach the arms forward. Find a fullness in the rib cage, little micro bends in the elbows, seed hands, push forward. And then take a full inhale, sweep hands back into ecstasy. Hips sit back towards the heels, paws root down, pushing down and out to the side, forearms rise up to the sky, belly stretch. Keeping the hollows in the ankles, in the back of the knees and in the groins. Lengthen the belly, ribs rise up away from the hips. Forearms reaching up, head gently pressing back into the hands. Toes rooted, paws pushing down and out, hips back, open belly. Cool. And then sit low, hips back, rise up through the center, crescent to the right. Big arch over. Keeping the hollows in the knees and the ankles and the groins. Hips back, bow belly. Head presses back into the hand, big arch over. And then release your right hand. Catch high on the outside edge of left thigh. Yeah. Hips sit back, belly bows forward. Catching the bind allows you to pulse deeper into the left side. And then both hands back through ecstasy. Rise through the center, a couple of belly stretches straight up and not so much back, but finding the lift, keeping the spine full and curvy. And then crescent over to the left, hips back, bow belly, rise to arch over. Head presses back into the hand, hips back, paws rooted, knees hugging external. Release your left hand, catch high on the outside edge of right thigh. Catching this bind allows you to get deeper into the right side. Hips tack back, belly bows forward. Find a beautiful big arch over. Awesome. And then total release. Take arms forward, step wide, step wide. And take a deep squat, move the hips way back. Belly stays long, move the hips far back and up as you take 2 domes down to the mat. Dome slide back to bright, step back, crouching cat. Cool. Heart forward, paws rooted, pushing down and out to the side. Externally rotate the left hand, twist cat right. Hips sit back towards the heel, ear to shoulder, rise through the ribs. Sit back, hips back, ear to shoulder, lift the ribs. Let's take a gentle back cat. Right foot finds a sneaky slide, not so far behind the left. Hips sit low like you're dropping it low. Thighs pull back towards the belly as you do. Left hand ecstasy, cup behind the head. Keeping this in just a gentle side opener. Hips drop low, thighs pull back, ear to shoulder, lift the ribs. One more little pulse. Ear connects to shoulder, begin to spiral, heart open. Awesome. And then come back through center. Walk the feet together. Right ankle crosses over top of left thigh, heart forward. Keep full in the upper back as you slowly lower shin down to the mat, falcon pose. Knee stays narrow to the top right hand corner of the mat. Right ankle sits right in front of the left thigh. And then take 2 seats forward to lower the forearms down to the mat. Awesome. So find a hamstring hug, left heel to the bum, heroed ankle. Knees push down, forward and out to the side. The right ankle sits in a hero right in front of the left thigh. And find a little gentle resistance, ankle into thigh, thigh back into ankle. And top of the head, crown of the head reaches forward as the elbows energetically drag back towards the knees to feel like the ribs are pulling forward as the hips drag back. Little hollows in the outer edge of the wrist, keep the triceps engaged. Sometimes here a little chin tuck into the chest to really inflate the back ribs into the scruff of the neck, feels nice, and then lifting the chin back up. Meow, meow, meow. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, inflate the back ribs, lift the elbows up away from the mat, walk the hands back towards the knees. And keep your legs as they are, tuck your back toes, press your butt straight back and up. Get a little hip stretch. And then release right foot down. Crouching cat, heart forward. Strong push of the mat away, paws rooted, pushing down and out to the side. Knees hugging external, heels pull back to lift the glutes up to the sky. Externally rotate the right hand, twist cat left. Hips sit back towards the heel, ear to shoulder, rise through the ribs. Paws stay rooted, ear cascades to shoulder, chin lifts out of the throat. Let's find a back cat. Left foot finds a sneaky slide behind the right. Hips sit low like you're dropping it low. Thighs pull back towards the belly as you do. Left hand catches ecstasy, cups behind the head, elbow hugs into the cheek. Press the head back into the hand and pull the elbow forward to stay broad and full through the back. Hips drop low, thighs pull back. Begin to spiral the belly open towards the sky. Ear connects to shoulder, finding a little opening through the front line. One more pulse, sit low, hips back. And then coming back through center, left hand meets the mat, crouching cat. Heart forward, walk the feet together. Cool. Left ankle crosses over top of right thigh, set up falcon on the other side. Knee lowers down to the mat. Walk the right knee back just a little bit, and then take 2 seats forward to lower forearms down to the ground. Hamstring hug, right heel to the bum, heroed ankle. Left knee angles up to the top left-hand corner of the mat. Left ankle sits in a heroed ankle right in front of the right thigh. Hips energetically drag back as the ribs pull forward. Forearms press strong into the mat to inflate the back ribs. Even chin tuck here feels nice, that inflation plus getting into the scruff of the neck. And then in action, elbows can energetically drag back towards the knees to feel the effect of ribs pulling forward, hips dragging back. If you want to feel this a little in the hip, you can find an energetic resistance, ankle into thigh and thigh back into ankle. Take one more full inhale. Exhale. Inflate the back ribs, lift the elbows up away from the mat. Walk the hands back, a little bit closer towards the knees, hands wide. Tuck your back toes, keep your legs as they are, and press your bum straight back and up. Keeping full through the shoulder blades, yes. Awesome. And then lower left foot down. Find a couple of springs through the center. Pause rooted, pushing down and out to the side. Hips pull back to reach the ribs forward. How much length can you create between the ribs and the hips? Awesome. And then step forward, deep squat, hips pull way back. Rise up with an open belly. Awesome. Hands find globe, fingertips connect. Hands nice and low down by the belly button, elbows push forward. Lift the chin and open the belly. Little spring in the knees, shift the weight to the left foot, hover the right heel. Dig the paw forward to send the hips back. Drag the paw back, engages the back line of the leg. Pick up the foot and hold engagement with a heroed ankle. Little hinge at the hips takes the torso forward just a little bit. Keep the right knee hugging forward to keep hollows in the groins. The butt moves back and wide behind you. Open belly, find a gentle spring up and down. Awesome. Find some stillness. Lift your heart high. Cross your right ankle over top of left thigh. Knee stays narrow while you sit into a seat. Glide the hips back. Reach 2 seeds forward. Take a full inhale. Inflate your back ribs and then hands down to the top of the thighs. Little micro bends in the elbows and then using the seeds on the thighs to lengthen the ribs up away from the hips. Yeah. Root down left toes. Lift the chin. Sit a little lower, hips back, open the belly, arms push the thighs away to lift the ribs higher, lengthen the belly longer. Sit a little lower one more time, arms push strong to lift the ribs higher. Awesome. And then cross your right leg all the way over. Phoenix kickstand. Right toes land just a little bit ahead of and to the left of the left foot. Squish the knees together and sit into a seat. Knees move forward as the hips glide back. Arms reach forward. Full inhale inflates the whole back ribs, actually whole ribs in general. And then hands sweep back into ecstasy. Thumbs to the occipital lobe, both hands on either side of the skull. Find a little pulse, sit back, hips drop low, forearms rise to the sky. How much space can you create between the ribs and the hips? Couple of springs through the center. Awesome. Take one more. Great. And then step your right foot to the side, step wide, step wide. Take a squat, move the hips back, open belly, take horseshoe hold to the top of the thighs. Finding a lightness and a buoyancy in the rib cage. Paws rooted, pushing down and out to the side. Find some shoulder dips. Right shoulder moves to the left, hips move way back. And then left shoulder to the right. Hips move way back. Belly stays long, chin stays lifted. And then switch, left shoulder to the right shoulder to the left. And then switch, left shoulder to the right. Buoyancy and fullness in the rib cage. And one more time, right shoulder to the left. And left shoulder to the right. Cool. Keeping the hands as they are, a buoyancy in the rib cage and inflation, hips back, knees forward, paws rooted. Find a glide from side to side. Extending the legs while keeping a micro bend in the knee. Rooted paws, hips back, open belly. And then coming back to center, walk the feet back onto into hip distance apart. Cool. Hands meet globe, fingertips connect, hands low down by the belly, elbows push forward. Finding it's like you're holding a big beach ball, the elbows push forward and energetically out to the side. Feel the shoulders lift up and move out. Knees bent, hips back, shift weight to the right foot, hover the left heel. Dig the paw forward, sends the hips back, drag the paw back, engages the back line of the leg. Pick up the foot, hold engagement with a heroed ankle. And take a little hinge at the hips to take the torso forward just a little bit. Hamstring hug, left heel to the bum, and then find a pulse. Hips move back and wide behind you, belly stays long, open forward, chin stays lifted, throat stays open. Awesome. And then find some stillness. Lift your heart high. Cross your left ankle over top of right thigh. Knee stays narrow while you sit into your seat. Hips move down and glide back. Awesome. And then reach 2 seats forward. Full inhale inflates the back ribs. Almost like a pump action to really lift the rib cage up away from the hips. Hands down to the top of the thighs. And then using this point of contact to lift the ribs away from the hips. Hips tack back, heroed left ankle, rooted right toes. Lift the chin, open the belly, sit a little lower. Use the seats, push thighs down, lift ribs higher. Do that one more time. Sit a little lower. Arms push strong, ribs reach higher. Cross your left leg all the way over. Phoenix kickstand. Left toes land a little bit ahead of and to the right of the right foot. Squish the knees together. Front heel can hover. Knees go forward. Hips glide back. Arms push forward and then hands sweep back into ecstasy. Little spring, sit low. Hips back. Rise up. Belly stretch. Awesome. Finding max space between the ribs and the hips, knees forward, hips back, forearms rising up, head gently pressing back into the hand. Left paw finds a dig, drag back. Take one more pulse. Awesome. And then step the left foot to the side. Bring the hands to the hips. Cool. Shift the weight to the left foot, hover right heel. Dig paw forward, sends the hips back. Drag the paw back, engages the back line of the leg. Pick up the foot and take a little step back into high lunge. Paw stays rooted, back heel hovers, knees bend into them. Hips stay parallel forward. Hands at the hips so we can give them a little flip to take the pelvis to dynamic neutral. And then take the hands to the bum, grab low, spread wide, lift it up. And then bring the hands to the top of the thighs, little domes, and find extension through the left leg. Hips move back and wide behind you, keeping a micro bend in the left knee. Belly stays long and the chin stays lifted. Option to find a little pulse here. In the pulse, the butt moves back and up behind you with each extension. Awesome. One more little spring. And then bend into your front knee. Take your right foot, step it a tiny bit further back and on an angle so that your front foot bisects the back foot. Yeah, cool. And the right foot angles up to the top right-hand corner of the mat. Take a bend into the knees. Move the hips back. Yeah, left forearm finds a super light land to the inseam of left thigh. Right arm stretches long to the side and then sweeps back into ecstasy. Great. Find a dig, drag right paw back as you reach right elbow forward. Pick up the place underneath your right armpit. Hips pull back, belly bows to the right. Head presses back into the hand. Peel throat open. Couple of little springs, dig, drag, reach elbow. And take one more. Awesome. And then 2 seeds, reach forward, eyes look forward, take a little spring step forward. Cool, switching sides, hands to the hips. Actually, yeah, hands to the hips, and let's just glide the ribs side to side. Okay. And then find some stillness, hands stay at the hips, shift the weight into the right foot, hover left heel, dig the paw forward, moves the hips back, drag the paw back, engages the back line of the leg. Pick up the foot, hold engagement as you carry it with a heroed ankle all the way back into a high lunge. Paw touches down, bend into the knees, hands at the hips to flip the hips, and then hands to the bum, grab low, spread wide, lift it up. Hands move to the top of the thighs, little domes, and then find extension through the right side, keeping a little micro bend in the knee, long open belly, chin lifted. Oh yeah, exactly. You can find a little spring in and out, and you can dig, drag your right toes back to further fire up the hammy stretch. With each extension of the leg, the hips have a direction of moving up wide behind you. Awesome. And then find some stillness. Bend into your front knee. Shift your back foot, step back just a little bit, and angle up to the top left-hand corner of the mat for tribal lunge, side coil pose. Right forearm, seed hand, I say forearm, but I mean about the top of the very beginning of the forearm, above the wrist. Finds a super light land to the inseam of the right thigh. Left arm reaches long to the side. Full inhale inflates the back ribs, and then hand sweeps back to find ecstasy. Cupping the back of the head, elbow hugs into the cheek, and then we find a little spring, dig, drag, back paw, left paw drags back as the elbow reaches forward. Hips pull back, belly softens to the left, head presses back into the hand. Lift up the place right underneath your left armpit, dig, drag, left paw back, elbow stretches forward. And take one more little spring. Awesome. And then take 2 seeds, reach them forward, little pounce, steps you forward. Cool, step wide. Deep squat, hips move way back. Belly stays open, arms reach forward. First have a glide from side to side. Yeah. And then move the hips back some more. Keeping an open belly, hips move back and wide behind you. Hands, domes touch down to the mat. Domes slide back to bright. Step back, crouching cat. Okay. Externally rotate left hand, twist cat right. Hips sit back towards the heel, ear to shoulder, rise the ribs. A couple of pulses here. Maybe take right hand ecstasy, cup behind the head. Head presses back into the hand, peel throat open, peel belly open, elbow reaches forward and long. How much space can you create all along your whole right side? And then back through center. Heart forward, strong push of the mat away. Externally rotate left hand, twist cat left. Hips sit back towards the heel, ear to shoulder, rise the ribs. Let's take the left hand ecstasy cup behind the head. Head presses back into the hand, open throat, open belly. Hips pull back, belly bows left, ear to shoulder, rise the ribs. Okay, and then you're going to lower your right hip down, reach your right arm long, lie onto your side bow. Cool, using this as mindful transition, head drops off of the bicep, arms up to the sky. Shimmy back onto the mat. Okay, catch your knees, freedom pose. Allow the knees to pull heavy away from you. Heels just dangle above the sits bones. And then finding the length in the belly, shoulder blades spreading, lift the chin. Little rock side to side. And then release your feet down behind your sits bones. Right ankle crosses over top of left thigh, hands into chin-up bar. Keeping this nice and soft, just finding a gentle resistance, ankle into thigh, thigh back into ankle. And then allow your feet or your legs to stay as they are and fall to the right. Keep an open belly, lifted chin. Engage your core, rise back up through center. Press your left foot into the mat, pick your bum up just a little bit, inch it to the right and drop it back down. Allow for a twist, right foot falls down to meet the ground, twist to the left. Engage your core, lift back up through center, uncross your legs, press your feet into the ground, pick your bum up, neutralize the spine, catch your knees, freedom pose, find a couple rocks side to side. Your knees pull heavy so the arms go straight, keeping the lower lumbar in its natural curve and broad through the back shoulder blades. And then the feet can meet the mat again behind your sits bones. Left ankle crosses over top of right thigh. And just keeping this soft, heroed left ankle, finding a gentle resistance, ankle into thigh, thigh back into ankle. Hands in chin-up bar, little domes beside the ears and elbows up to the sky, long belly. And then allow your legs to fall to the left, gentle twist. And then engage your core, lift back up through center. Press your right foot into the mat to pick your bum up, inch it to the left just a little bit. Drop back down for a twist to the right. Left foot meets the ground on the right side. Inhale, engage your core, rise up through center. Uncross your legs, press your feet into the mat, neutralize the spine, catch your knees, freedom pose, little rock side to side. Yay. And then extend your legs long. Little rest. Take your hands to your bum, spread your cheeks. And grab for opposite shoulders, big bear hug. Spread the shoulders to lie a little bit more lovely. Arms, let's take hands to the belly. One, because Sarah's gonna have a belly, if she has a belly. Press the back of the head into the mat, lift the chin. And just find some softness for a little bit. Meow, meow. So, kind of soft, but also bowspring's hard, but amazing for opening the pelvic floor. So grab your butt lots, as much as you want. Spread it wide, out to the sides and up, and yeah. Love, love. Thanks, Rachel.